Hey there, and welcome. We're diving into something that every single taxpayer in the UK really ought to know, your fundamental rights when you're dealing with HMRC. Now, this isn't just dry, boring stuff. This is vital information put together for you by the experts at My Tax Accountant. And honestly, it could save you some serious cash. All right, let's just jump right in with a massive question for you. Did you know that HMRC might actually owe you money this year? I know it sounds a bit backwards, doesn't it? But you'd be absolutely amazed at how often this actually happens. Just look at this number, £48.7 million. And get this, that's how much HMRC paid back in pension tax refunds in just one 3-month period last year. We're not talking about a few small typos here and there. This is proof that huge overpayments are happening all the time. And the crazy part is, most people have no idea. So, to make sure you're not one of the people accidentally leaving your own money on the table, we're going to walk you through 10 absolutely crucial rights. These are the tools that empower you to check your tax, push back on decisions, and claim what is rightfully yours. Okay, so here's what we've got lined up. We'll kick off with why your rights matter so much right now. Then we'll get into your foundational entitlements, what to do when disputes pop up, how to get professional help, and we'll wrap up with the key takeaways. Sound good? Let's dive in. All right, part 1. Why do these rights matter now more than ever? Well, the whole tax landscape for 2025/26 has changed, and it's hitting your wallet directly. Here's the kicker. The government has frozen the amount you can earn tax-free, that's £12,570, all the way until 2028. So as your pay hopefully goes up just to keep up with inflation, more of your money gets dragged into higher tax brackets. They call it fiscal drag, but really it's a stealth tax. And that makes it absolutely critical you're not overpaying on top of everything else. Okay, moving on to part 2. Let's talk about your foundational entitlements. Think of these as the basic ground rules for your relationship with HMRC, and they're all written down in their official charter. Right. Right number 1. This one is huge. You have the right to be treated fairly and, this is the important bit, to be presumed honest. HMRC isn't allowed to just assume you're trying to cheat the system. Their starting point has to be one of trust. And look, this isn't just some nice idea we're talking about. It's written word for word in their own charter. They literally say, "We'll assume you're telling the truth." This should give you the confidence to speak up and question things without feeling like you're automatically under suspicion. Okay, let's make this real with an example. So, there's Sarah from Manchester. She switches jobs mid-year, and boom, her new boss puts her on an emergency tax code. What happens? She ends up overpaying by 1,200 quid. Because she knew she had a right to a fair assessment, she got on the phone to HMRC, explained the situation, and got that money back in a few weeks. That's this right in action, right there. All right, here's a quick pro tip for you, and honestly, this could save you a headache. Your tax code is everything. It's basically the little instruction that tells your employer how much tax to deduct from your pay. Don't wait until the end of the year. You can log into your personal tax account on the gov.uk site, like right now, and check it's correct. Seriously, get on top of it. Moving on to right number 2, the right to get help and support. I mean, let's be real, the UK tax system is complicated. It can be a total minefield. The good news is HMRC knows this, and they are actually obligated to give you the help you need to get it right. And if you want proof of how complex it is, just look at this. If you're earning 60 grand a year in Scotland, you're paying over £1,500 more in tax than someone in England. It's wild. With all these different rates and bands flying around, it's so easy to get confused. And that is exactly why your right to get clear, simple support from HMRC is an absolute must. Okay, right number 3 is all about your privacy. You have a right to have your personal information respected. So if you've got a side hustle going, or maybe you're juggling a few jobs, HMRC can ask questions, sure, but, and this is key, their questions have to be proportionate. They can't just go on a massive fishing expedition through your bank accounts without a very good reason. So what happens when things go wrong? Because, let's face it, sometimes they do. That brings us to part 3, how to navigate disputes and errors. And knowing your rights here can save you a ton of stress. Right, number 4 is a game changer. You have the right to appeal. If that dreaded brown envelope lands on your doormat and it says you owe money and you think, hang on a minute, that's not right, you do not have to just roll over and pay it. An appeal isn't about having a massive fight, it's just a standard, formal process. And the process is actually way less scary than it sounds. Step 1, You ask for something called a statutory review. All that means is a fresh pair of eyes at HMRC, someone totally impartial, looks at your case from scratch. If that still doesn't sort it out, you can then take it to an independent tax tribunal.
But get this, and this is the really encouraging bit. Around 75%, that's 3 out of every 4 disagreements, get sorted out at that first statutory review stage. So the vast majority of issues are resolved without ever needing the stress of a tribunal. That's a huge relief, right?
Okay, right number 5. This one is simple, but so important. You can complain. If you get poor service, if there are massive delays, you have the right to complain without any fear of it coming back to bite you later. HMRC is not allowed to hold a grudge. Your complaint about their service is kept totally separate from your tax file.
And listen, when HMRC makes a mistake, and believe me, it happens, you have the right to get it fixed, and fixed quickly. They have to be responsive. There was a case with a small business owner recently who had a national insurance problem, pointed out the error, and it was sorted, completely resolved in 10 days. The lesson here? Don't just let an error sit there. Chase it up.
You know, all of this leads perfectly into our next section, Part 4, Getting Professional Help. Because, let's be honest, sometimes the best way to stand up for your rights is to have an expert fighting in your corner. You really don't have to do this all by yourself. And that's where right number 7 comes in. You have the right to have someone represent you. That could be a professional, like an accountant, or it could even be a friend or a family member you trust. You can give them official permission to deal with HMRC for you, which just takes all of that weight and stress right off your shoulders. Let's talk about Raj from Birmingham. He's an IT consultant, gets a scary-looking underpayment notice from HMRC, and has no idea what it's about. So he hires an agent. The agent takes one look and spots it straight away. Raj hadn't claimed his home office allowances properly. So the agent appeals, fixes the numbers, and turns that bill into a £900 refund. Now that is the power of having a pro on your side. Right. Number 8 is all about being human. It's the right to extra support when you really need it. If life throws you a curveball, a bereavement, an illness, anything that makes dealing with paperwork feel impossible, HMRC has to provide extra help. That might mean giving you more time to pay a bill or just explaining things in a much simpler way. Wow. Okay, we have covered a lot. So let's move into our final part and boil it all down to the key takeaways. And finally, we have rights 9 and 10, and really, these two support all the others. Number 9 is your right to get info that's accurate and clear. You shouldn't have to be a detective to figure out what HMRC needs. And number 10, which is so vital today, is your right to know that your personal data is being kept safe and secure. So there you have it. Let's just quickly run through them one last time. You have the right to be seen as honest, to get help, to privacy, to appeal, to complain, to get mistakes fixed fast, to have a representative, to get extra support, to get clear info, and to have your data kept secure. Honestly, just knowing these rights puts you in a much, much stronger position. So hopefully you're feeling a lot more confident now. But let's be real, it's still a bit of a maze, isn't it? The question is, do you want to try and find your way through it all by yourself? Or would you rather have an expert guide who knows every single shortcut and can make sure you're not paying a penny more than you should? If having an expert guide sounds like the way to go, then the team at My Tax Accountant are the people to call. They can take a look at everything and make absolutely sure you're not overpaying. You can get in touch with them directly on WhatsApp or give them a call on 07854 255 375. Again, that's 07854 255 375. Or you can just send an email to info@mytaxaccountant.co.uk. And hey, for more great tips just like this, do yourself a favor and subscribe to their YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining me.